Hey Hit Doctor members, Coach Danny Cahill here again with my friend Chris Dunn doing the video. I will be doing the voiceover, and I'd also like to thank Rob Benjamin at this time. I asked Rob a couple years ago when he was working with the Seattle Mariners. I said, what is the one thing that separates the elite hitters, the pros that we watch on TV, from the rest of us, basically? And he told me it was the lat. And the lat is a muscle in the back that, when used properly, can give you really good trunk control. It can give you explosive power and direction in your swing and in your rotation. And it makes a huge difference. And ever since I've been using it and incorporating it in my training with hitters, it's been like a game changer for me. So just wanted to thank Rob Benjamin real quick. And of course, Chris Dunn. These videos are great. They're old videos, but I tend to just use what I have. There's no reason to fix it if it ain't broken. So he does a great job. Today's lesson is going to be on the trunk use and how it's important in the swing and how it's the separator between amateur hitters and professionals. If you want to maximize your talent, it doesn't mean you have to be a professional hitter, but it does mean that you can learn to use your trunk like the pros do, and that will definitely increase your ability to hit at a maximum level that your talent will allow. So I'll let Chris get us started. He's going to talk a little bit about tilting forward in the loading process, which is what is skipped. I see 99% of the time players don't do this, where they tilt forward and their shoulders slope forward or down, kind of like a rocking the baby motion. Remember, we want the trunk to work like a Ferris wheel and tilt, whereas the lower half, starting with the pelvis area, works in a merry-go-round fashion. When those two offset each other, you get a really high-level swing. So the tilting action, when the forward tilt is skipped in the loading process, when you tilt back during the swing and you really lean into that lat, you can end up too far back. You end up behind the leg. You end up falling back towards the catcher, and then your swing ends up too shallow, which would mean just too much of an uppercut, and you become susceptible to high fastballs, and you have less adjustability because you're falling backwards. You see that with some of the major league hitters even. Okay, so don't forget to forward tilt first during the loading process. Here we go.
In my opinion, just about every high school and college hitter knows how to rotate. They know how to rotate to an acceptable level in terms of the lower half working and creating rotation. One of the biggest deficiencies I see, and one of the things that I really think separates hitters, is the way that they use their trunk. When I talk about lateral tilt in the trunk, we're just talking about this action here, okay? We can call it lateral tilt or side flexion, whatever it is, side bending. We can employ and create a lot of back speed and a lot of force and create a lot of resistance if we use this properly. What I tend to see with amateur hitters is the trunk stays real flat, the shoulders stay real flat, so when rotation happens, we get this real two-dimensional swing where there's no real stretch, where when you see really good hitters, professional hitters, and advanced hitters, we see a lot more side bending this way. And we create action in this plane instead of just in this plane. So the swing becomes much more three-dimensional. We create force in all different planes and instead of just on one plane here. And it all starts with our load, where when we're loading forward, all right, in order to engage and put this backside in stretch, we side bend one way, and then the launch creates side bend this way. Okay, so we're putting stretch in this backside and then firing into that backside. This is doing a couple things for us. First of all, it's creating force against this rear leg. All right. The other thing it's doing, it's helping us stay back It's helping us start to get on plane, all right? And it's helping us stay connected. When we stay real flat with the shoulders, we'll see a lot of guys disconnecting, getting down here, because they don't really create good lateral tilt to the ball. So the further the pitch is, the lower the pitch, the more lateral tilt we need to create this way. And you'll see guys like Trout who get real vertical here. This is all about how our trunk works. We don't want to be going to get that pitch this way because we're real disconnected. Our swing's going to get real long, all right? Now, as the pitch goes up, the tilt gets less and less. But it all starts with putting the backside in stretch with this downhill tilt that you'll see hitters create in their load. And then as they launch, we turn and bend the opposite direction. Like I said, this is a big separator. Amateur hitters, I think, are really missing out on a lot of force, on a lot of bat speed, a lot of adjustability by not using the middle of their body. At the end of the day, the trunk controls everything. This is going to lead you into creating good patterns, good bat speed, good depth, all that stuff. The other thing, last thing I want to mention before I forget, is guys that are real turny, real spinny, real two-dimensional, their direction tends to be out whole side and out in front.
I call that swinging towards the dugout instead of towards the field. Okay, this move is so common. It's what I see a ton in players. A lot of bat speed going left. That's why if you're a right-handed hitter, you should be launching your swing to the right so that your turn carries you through the center of the field rather than to the left.
Out whole side and out in front. If we can stay more lateral this way with the upper body, our direction through the middle of the field and the ability to drive the ball the other way is really increased.
So as we finish up here, I wanted to go backwards a little bit and talk about what Chris was mentioning here and how important it is to use the trunk to get side bend or side tilt to get to low pitches instead of dropping your hands and getting disconnected, like he said. Okay? This move right here is critical to becoming the best you can be. Okay? Look how much lower he is with the barrel. And remember last video when we talked about at contact how the forearm should be lined up with the barrel? You see that it is? Okay? He just gets there without even thinking about it. He's an elite hitter, so. Anyways, the turn of the barrel behind you, you can see the barrel turning around the forearm here. Okay, if you remember the last video, there's the motion of the hand turning the barrel. Top hand is turning the barrel and delivering it to the ball. Okay, the space is remaining between his elbows, like with all good hitters. And he's tilted down to get to that pitch. His hands are still where they started, right here. Okay? They haven't dropped at all. They're still right there, right next to the shoulder. Everyone always thinks the hands go down to the ball, like they go this way. They get disconnected from your body. They do not. Not with elite hitters. The best hitters keep their hands up and they keep their hands back. Okay? You notice how they're not coming across the chest. They're not pushing forward. They're not dropping down. They're staying right where they are and the barrel is turning. So you can get to this pitch. Right? This is what you don't want to do to get to that pitch. You see how his hands have completely disconnected from his shoulder and dropped down? We don't want that. Okay? Keep them up and back. Really, really important. Okay? And then we can work up from there. Okay? You have there, middle, and then the higher pitch, you just get to there. But the hands stay in the same spot. It's your trunk that's doing all the work. See his trunk bending? Side tilt. See? That's all you gotta do. Now, if you can't do this motion though, if your trunk doesn't work correctly, if you're not using your back and your lats, if you're not using your core, then you're not gonna be able to do this. That's why we have to do the exercises. Okay? Really, really important. Hope this video helped. That's trunk use. In the sequence of things, that's the stretching phase. After we gather, we continue to stretch through the pelvis in that rear hip socket, up the back chain into the lat. That's what stretches next, the trunk. And then it works up into the scap area muscles that gets stretched at the end as we start to grab on with the hands, which are at the very end of the process to turn the barrel and get through the baseball in any direction. Okay? Get to work. I'll see you soon.